Good morning. Today is July the 26th, and we are in the Manitow area today. We are going to do a run through for sign. We're also kind of coming to the closing of the loop of a south to north circuit that I usually do as a general pattern every year. Doing it pretty early this year too, so we can focus on other matters too. But that's our plan for today, and we're going to get moving. I don't know if we're going to make entry into Manitow. We're going to get that far and make that call at the time, or check out the areas that are adjacent to it, but that is our plan. So come along for the ride, and we'll see where we are. Thanks. Okay, we're back and en route to the Manitow area. I still don't know if I want to exert myself making entry or not. We're walking through here looking for sign because this is a fairly there's a trail through here, but you don't tend to see a lot of human traffic through here on a regular basis, and so it is in that sense very remote. It's in an area that is not, I mean, you have a trail in and out, yes, but Manitow itself, were you to be injured in there, I would make the argument that you pretty much are stuck crawling your way back to the trail to get help, because the odds of them finding you in there are not in your favor. So if you ever go in there, don't fuck up. That could be a costly mistake. As far as gossip or anything on my mind today, like I said, we're going to go in there. I was kind of toying with the idea of either doing that, or last week I was at a different area that's not far from here and way in the back, through the woods, across the pond, through the woods, and at the end of a stream, there's a rocky entrance to another stream that, after checking the map, if you wander through another fairly rugged stretch of remote woods, you are going to end up at a pair of meadows that you can base an investigation out of. I may do that next week, and that would be new territory. Can't speak to it because haven't gone that far into that area, number one. What I do know from a navigational standpoint, though, is that it eventually gets to a pond I have walked into by way of the AT and the Long Trail. And to your encouragement, there's a sign in there saying that it's one of the most busy bear activity having areas in that greater area. And sorry, thought my phone was on. And that basically, if you're backpacking through there, and I did see actually that day a fair amount of through hiker traffic, like backpacker folks, and which is good, because if you run into trouble or they run into trouble, there's kind of a support system there to help people out if they run into issues, which is not a bad thing. But so I'd end up at that pond by going in this way. You'd be hiking in couple of miles, and it would be going in definitely the hard way. But today we're doing Manitow, or the area into Manitow. We came up on moose tracks here. Not very well defined, but a big animal like that's going to take the path of least resistance. One would expect that. Pretty soon we'll be coming up on an area, if it still exists in the form it was, I call Splashtown, because it's an area that was flooded over probably because of beaver activity. If you ever look on Google Maps, it's amazing the impact that beavers have on the landscape in their industrious dam building, whatnot. Other than that, today I was able to get a signal before, and I did check in, and to Jonathan Messer, you are jealous because I'm going to Manitow, and the only thing that keeps you out of here, buddy, is your inability to pull yourself away from your family for a bit. Not rubbing it in, just making an observation, kind of poking the bear a little bit. Other than that, a comment on the Bigfoot forums, because they ended up closing the thread pertinent to the Jacob photos, which kind of makes sense because it's an old hackneyed freaking subject, number one, but the fact is that it was a decent discussion, taking some interesting angles, if only because the one guy who claims to be Scandinavian absolutely has a bug up his ass now about things not being a bear when in fact they are a bear. Showing that despite the fact he's like this big bad hunter guy behind the keyboard, he's also the living epitome of the following concept. You can be a gullible fuck with 18,000 some odd freaking posts on a given forum on the interweb somewhere and still be a gullible fuck. Pardon the French, but profane, blunt emphasis for exactly that, emphasis. You have a bunch of people on there with some very skewed beliefs, and I do not mean that as a compliment. So, my point being, they closed down the thread for the sake of... It wasn't even like descending into bickering, which I could understand. They just decided to shut it down for a while, which means the moderators are attempting to control the narrative on what is inherently a discussion forum, meaning, what is the purpose of a discussion forum if not, I don't know, discussion? Things like that, things about that on that forum always bothered me. Perfectly good discussion, and yeah, let's shut it down because we don't want to deal with it anymore. Yeah, good job. Anyway, where are we? I don't know if we're there yet. I don't think, no, we're not, because we can pass Splashtown first. We haven't done that yet. I am going to kind of do this video in bits and pieces today because you can have me along the trail bantering to your merry contentment, or we can just do it in bits when we do things that are interesting. So we'll do that. I just wanted to get an intro in. And we'll come back if we hit something interesting, tracks or the like. But at this point, we're going to take a segment break and be back in a bit. Okay, we're back, and we have arrived at Splashtown, which is kind of a rundown, stump and dead tree infested field. I don't really see, I mean, there's some water down there, but it's a lot drier than it normally is, so I guess they haven't had a lot of rain up here. Which is an interesting thing, but let me see if I can get a better view without killing myself going down the hill. A little steep. But yeah, this is Splashtown. Goes wider over that way. We're not going to foray into this too far because that's not the main goal today. You can pretty much see out a ways anyway if there's anything in here looking at us. If there's something on the other side, we're not going to go all the way through there and get to it. As you can see, the terrain basically sucks. If you see that, and then... But I just thought I'd stop in. We'll do some quick sightseeing here before we move on. I think we're not far from Manitou, so... I have to decide whether I'm going to make entry or not. Or... I mean, it's a cool hike if I don't. You know what? Actually, hold on. One of the coolest fucking beaver trees I've ever seen right there. The beavers have had an absolute field day on that rooted tree right there. That is absolutely, definitely worth a picture. So we're going to take a segment break here so I can take a photo of that, because that's just too damn cool not to. And again, we'll be back in a bit. I'm listening because I just thought I heard something. Which this far out in the middle of nowhere is interesting by itself. I'm going to listen in and tune out for a bit. We'll be back. Okay, we're back, and welcome to Manitou. We are going to make an effort to find a relatively painless attempt to get near this thing. Bearing in mind, I do reserve the... Oh, Jesus Christ, that's as bad as I remember. I'm going to try to do this. I may say fuck it, because this is not easy going. As I said before, I have to kind of decide if I want to go through this or not. thought this was an opening, but as you can see down here, it gets thicker, so I'm going to need to find a better approach. I'm already at my first turning back point. Well, screw it. I'm not going through all this. That's insanity. So we're going to fall back and punt once already. And frankly, if you guys think less of me for not doing this, you didn't even make the journey. As I chew the shit out of my backpack and the like. Okay, we're going to take a segment break and think our way in or out of this. We'll be back. Okay, attempt number 2. Maybe better, maybe not. There's just no fucking, no. This is, I'm trying to remember. Trouble is, it's been more than 2 years since I've been here. I need to put glasses on for eye protection. Sorry. Because the glasses are going to come off anyway. Let's see if this is doable. I see like a slight crack. Damn it. Yeah, how about we don't look at me and we look at that? And see if there's a way we can kind of weave through here and get see if this is worth it or not. Behold Manitou. Let's get past. If I do this and I can get through this stuff, then I might have to remember exactly how I did this, because that was actually not that bad. That first way just wasn't going to happen nicely. So, but still, you can't see where your feet are, so this is tricky going. But the other fun from past memory is you can walk out into this thing, and sometimes it's dry, sometimes you can walk out. There was one time I almost walked out and I was practically up to my waist in swamp water, making this always an interesting descent into hell. Get off me. I'm going to have to remember, fuck, because I almost killed myself, exactly where this way in. That wasn't, just having come through this. Not overly that bad. So I guess we are entering Manitou today, as we're already here. That actually wasn't that bad. But again, I'm looking for a landmark so I don't have to do this in a shitty way. That little broken tree right there, 20 feet to the left of it, is my salvation. Because the fun in getting in here is you then have to get back out of here, which is, and those 2 trees right there. That's the joy of this interesting area. Getting in, but then getting back out. And I can already feel the mush factor of wetness. But welcome to Manitou. We are here. I don't know if I've ever had this camera here. Again, these 2 trees, they line up with the broken tree over there. We go up that way. That's the way out. You can hear the mush, but we're out. We are in Manitou. To Jonathan Messer, feel very, very, very jealous because we are in Manitou and you're not. I didn't think I was going to come here this year, but here the hell we are. If you saw where this was on a map, you'd see just how far in the middle of fucking nowhere we are. Pardon my French. And from there we would basically in the lower half of the Green Mountains right now, and I just cut myself good on something. This is pretty much smack dab. If you could get an equidistant area in the middle of nowhere, this is basically it. Okay, let me find those 2 trees again. Right there. you're about, what, 50 feet from the edge, and then straight back up and out from me. I don't know how far I'm going to go in today, but I mean, the thing is, this is what the ground looks like. It's mushy, mossy stuff. Long pan of the area. And even as I had thoughts of maybe putting the drone in here, number one, with this mushy stuff, I have no idea where I would land it from, and number two, the wind is picking up just enough to make it a nuisance. I really don't want to spend the whole afternoon in here looking for a down drone. Okay, let me put my glasses back on my hat. Kind of remember where those trees are right there, because that's going to be key to getting out of here without killing myself. My feet are now officially wet, and the way to avoid sinking into the middle of this thing is to get closer to the rim over here. And so yeah, going out that way is not that bad. I may have found the one area. I mean, if you go out the shitty way, that's pretty much what you're doing. So as we get out into this, as I said, I guess the question is, how far do I want to go? I've been over in there before. There's another cell over that way, which basically links to, let me get on solid ground so I can point. There's a cell over there, and if you go to the far end of that one, there's like 3 or 4 more cells. You can follow this thing for probably 2 miles out here. The thing being, if you get hurt out here, good luck. This first cell isn't that bad. The one in there, the trees as you get into there, get thicker than the ones we just came through. So what I'm going to do at this point is I am going to get some photography done in the middle of this verdant wilderness. And so for a quick sightseeing, there's a bigger pod over there where I had the one drone flight in here over that. Kind of the highlight of that year. Over there in the woods is a place that evens out called the Moose's Bedroom, because it's where a moose at one point was bedding down. The big black swampy pond over there, which is like a big black bottomless pit of swamp water. I haven't gotten into the woods over there because it's too damn thick. And at one point I had a pipe dream of setting up a base camp in there and then doing a night op out over this. But I find it hard to believe that a Squatch would want to put up with this waterbed of a surface to come walking through, because you'd probably hear him cursing. But I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get some photography done, and then I'm going to plot my next move. We will be back. So just a quick and simple wrap up. We came back from Manitou. The rest of the hike was more or less quiet. We got the drone out over a large pond in the area, and that's about where we're going to leave things today. So thanks for watching. Subscribe and like if you're of the mind to do so, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya. Bye.